Good afternoon, everyone. This is Scott, and welcome to the weekly trade report video. Today is November 5th, 2017. So taking a look at the Dow Jones, we can see the Dow is steady, nice strong uptrend here. Market just continues to rally higher. We continue to see strength in many sectors, from oil and gas to banks, biotechs, fertilizers, etc. Lots of strength across many sectors in the market. SPY, similar story. You can just kind of see, nice steady uptrend there, kind of in this channel formation. See that? It's a nice steady uptrend there in the market. IWM, small caps, kind of resting, almost like a bull flag type pattern there on the IWM. But still lots of strength, lots of good charts, and lots of good setups. So let's talk about some of the sectors. So if we take a look at the IBV, we can see, the biotech sector looks kind of interesting. If we look back here, right, we can see this downtrend, just like this. See this downtrend, and then it put in a double bottom right there around 305. So double bottom pattern where it tested 305, tested it, couldn't break it, and then broke through the uptrend line, had a nice rally. Kind of seeing a similar pattern possibly developing here, where you get this kind of double bottom pattern where broke down, tested the spot, rallied, pulled back, and rallied right off that. It looks like right around 311 area, and so you could be seeing a bottoming pattern here in the IBB and a rally back up. So keep that in mind. And we've had some nice winners in biotech land, and we'll talk about those. Juno particular was a nice winner for me, and I think some of you guys caught it too. I've been sitting on it for a while. It finally made its move, and I caught a good piece of it. So we'll talk about that. All right, let's get in. Let's take a look at the XLE. The energy sector remains resilient. Okay, so we had this big rally up, rested for a while, kind of give a brief pullback, and then now right back to the highs. So lots of energy names showing strong strength, and lots of setups in that sector as well. So look in those sectors, the oil and gas, even the solar companies are showing some strength. So the energy sector does look strong. Looks like it's going higher. All right, so let's take a look at, first up, take a look at Juno. So Juno, just a huge move, and so this is one that I got in a bit too early, basically sat on it for about 8 days, right? And I kept, just sitting on this thing because the pattern was developing, and I thought this thing was going to go, and sure enough, it did go. I had no idea it was going to go as high as it did, but that's okay. I took some partial profits on this breakout day here. And then the next day I closed all my position close to 54, I think, 53. I'm sorry, close to 53, 52, 75 area, somewhere in there. And so you can see nice profit from my 44 entry. It took a while to get there, but then this thing had a monster move. I mean, just rallied all through the day. So kind of wish I would have held a bit longer on this one. I guess I could have maybe jumped back in, but that being what it is, you can kind of see this pattern kind of played out back here on 828. You can see where it gapped up, 2 days. First had the first day gap, and then a continuation candle, and then just consolidated for a while. So you kind of see a similar pattern here. Broke out, 1 day candle, and then a big green one, and now you could be getting into a nice consolidation phase again. So, but what's interesting is this kind of period right here, this kind of flagging period that happened back here between 7/1 and 8/28 was about the same period of time as this flagging period here. So basically a couple of months worth of consolidation, then it broke out. So at this point I don't really see anything in Juno. Could go higher, but I mean, this is really what you wanted to catch. Maybe there's rumors of buyout, maybe they get bought out, or maybe it just pulls back from here, but I don't see a trade in it right now. The trade was to buy it on the breakout of this, and now just kind of wait and see how it develops. But nevertheless, nice winner, and patience paid off on that one. All right, let's talk about some other setups. Let's see, BLDP. So BLDP is a nice name. Kind of tricked some people here at this 5 spot. Looks like this 5 area broke here and then gave it all back, and then it had a big candle and broke out above 5, and then 550. So this one's hanging out up here at new highs. So I think this one would be one to watch for some continuation. It's BLDP. Looks like a decent chart. Keep an eye on that one. HCLP, this one is a little bit choppy. It's a oil and gas sector name, so that sector is one I've been kind of looking at. But you can see here this 1050 area where it had this big rally up to 1050, pulled back, tested it, and then now it's trying to break that 1050 spot again, got rejected again. So you got 3 rejections there at that 1050, and looks like it's kind of bottoming. I think it could test 1050 and go higher. This HCLP I think looks pretty good for next week. Okay, FATE, F-A-T-E, once again, similar pattern as Juno. You had the big move, the sideways consolidation, and the breakout after a couple months of consolidating. And this one had a nice break, and pretty good move so far. I don't know where I'd enter it right now, but it did give you a pullback to this 425 and then rallied back up. So I don't really see where you can enter FATE now. It's kind of already broken out, got a nice push there. So, but nevertheless, nice pattern there on the 425 break from last week's watch list. Okay, SM, another oil name. You see the pattern, right? Consolidate, test, and then finally on this 19 area, that was a trigger to buy it, and you got to run all the way up to 21. Maybe it rests here for a while, pulls back. We'll see. The energy sector does look strong, so I think this one can continue higher. Okay, AXTI, this one didn't work. It looked like it wanted to break 950, so now it's pulled back, so no trade there. Maybe if it gets back to that 950 spot one more time, be worth a shot. It could be just pulling back temporarily and ramp back up. So we'll watch, see if I can ramp back towards 950 in the future. Okay, CDNA. This one looks very, very interesting. We can kind of see a pattern that's been going on for quite a while in this name. It's had a huge run. I mean, this thing was, back here was only $1.50 a share. It's all the way at 6. So this is a monster winner for longer-term holders. But you see this kind of flagging period, and then it breaks out, right? And then it kind of did this again, which is one we traded. Right through this flagging period, consolidates for, I don't know, maybe that's 20 days there, and then breaks out. So you can see this one is kind of doing the same thing again, right? Consolidating up here right around 6. And we'll have to watch this one. It looks extended, but then again, you can see this pattern repeating over again. So if this one get through 6, it's definitely worth a trade if it can break through 6. So keep an eye on this one. It's been close to the number of days it's consolidated back here and back here. So it's really the consolidation period is getting to the point where it's ready to make a move one way or the other, and it does look like it's going to break to the upside, so keep an eye on that. Okay, GFA, sorry, this was I think this is a home builder, but the broken pattern, you can see kind of what I've seen there. Trying to get through 950 and they got rejected, so nothing there now, just a failed pattern. EOG, nice continuation on this one. Another oil name, right? Run up, consolidate, and then break out to the upside. So you'll see the pattern. Once you recognize the patterns, guys, I mean, it applies to all sectors. It applies to all names, and the market just keeps repeating itself, and so these patterns repeat over and over again. Just got to learn to recognize them. ACOR, pretty decent. A little bit choppy. Would have gotten stopped out if I'd have traded it because of this big wipeout intraday. But still a decent looking setup there. Not fantastic, but decent. ACOR. Okay, BTU, not a fast mover, but nevertheless a nice uptrend here in this name. It's a coal name, energy name with the energy sector remaining strong. I see this one continuing to just same kind of pattern here. We get the move, a little bit of pullback, rally, a little bit of pullback, rally. So nice little uptrend there in BTU. Looks higher. STLD. So this one failed. Looks like its key area was 38, but they had a nice break. I thought it was going to kind of do the same thing BTU is doing, where it just kind of brief pullback and then next rally, but it kind of gave it all back. So I don't see anything anymore in STLD. So no trade there. Okay, Twitter looks interesting. So we had a big earnings win and had a big gap up and 2-day run, and now it's pulling back. So this is the I guess you call it like a breakout pullback setup, where you get this big move on earnings and then it kind of pulls back and stabilizes. I think Twitter, the pattern hasn't really revealed itself yet, whether or not this is the bottom, whether it's going to pull back to 19 or kind of bottom out right here and then turn back up. I think the risk rewards getting into on the long side into Twitter in this area is pretty good, because I do think this thing is going to be going back up and testing 21, 22 area in the next week or two, because this pattern, this breakout pullback pattern, you see that a lot, where it kind of has a big move and then kind of pulls back, stabilizes, and perks back up. So Twitter, I think, it looks interesting. Okay, CAVM, watching that 70 spot and got rejected. Looks like it may be testing that 70 spot again. I think there's rumors of CAVM and MRVL merging. Somebody told me that. And so this is a semiconductor. And so watch that 70 spot. And so the one that is supposed to be potentially merging one, this is MRVL, which also has a very nice pattern for next week, right through this 1850 area where it closed at. So see that right in there? You can kind of see the pattern developing. Maybe something like this, right? Right, so it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. MRVL, watch that one. That could be a nice mover next week. Very good looking setup through 1850 spot. You know, it closed right there. If we can get some upside through that area, be worth a trade, I think. MRVL. Alright, let's see what's next. Okay, so MRO, another oil name, similar pattern as EOG, similar pattern as SM. They all kind of follow the same pattern. They're all oil names. But you can see there's the run up, consolidation, and the upside breakout, continuation there on MRO. So nice move there. Okay, OPK. This one still hasn't done anything. I thought it might try to break out of this down channel to the upside. Nothing yet. So just continue monitoring. Maybe it stabilizes down here. Looks like there's a key support area right there around 640. Maybe it can start to reverse the upside, but nothing there now. Okay, RTRX. So this is the top setup for Monday. This stock looks just great. I think they actually even had some kind of after hours news on Friday. But look at that spot there, clean, 25, tested it once, twice, 3, 4, 5, plus you get the volatility contraction. You know, if we just draw a line right just like that, you can see here pullback, shallower, tighter, again a tighter range. And so this one through 25 looks fantastic. If you're looking for a trade, it's a little bit thin. You know, I think it trades only under 200,000 shares a day. But this one looks great. RTRX through 25. I'd give it a target of at least 26 or greater. RTRX. Blue. So Blue was a similar sector as Juno. So it's I think it's a immunotherapy play in the biotech world. So it's kind of the same pattern there. You can see, you know, Blue had a nice break, and you had this big candle, gave it all back, and then continued higher. So, I mean, looks a tad bit extended, maybe due for a little bit of a rest. But Blue, that was a nice break there on that like 150, 145 area. Okay, this one here, another energy name, had a spot there at 50, and you can see where had a nice breakthrough 50, but then now it's pulling back. So this could be just a breakout pullback. You have a nice push, you know, people take profits, pulls back to the breakout, holds 50, and then perks back up. So this would be one to watch for a breakout pullback if you're interested in that. Okay, ALBO, really like this pattern. This is just a really good looking setup here. We got this clean spot at 28, right around 28. And then you have like almost like a, you know, triangle pattern here developing. And so now the stock is very thin, only trades, you know, 20,000 shares. So that's the downside of this name. But the pattern's setting up though, so if you can see some volume coming in this thing through 28, it'd be worth a shot. I mean, it's a very great looking pattern, it just doesn't have a lot of volume, which is a negative. Alright, let's take a look at another one. Okay, Zen, this one you really didn't have a chance to get in on this one. I mean, it had the pattern from last week's watch list right there, and it just opened up and gapped up. I think it was on earnings. But so this one, you know, maybe it's going to pull back, but no trade there now. It had the breakout, so now it's just kind of watching, I guess. But I don't see any trade-ins in now, but the pattern was on the 31 area break. Okay, APC, here's another oil name developing in like a flag pattern. You can see right there around 50, kind of pulled back. Now it looks like it's trying to break through the 50 spot. So this APC, a great looking oil name if you're looking to trade oil on a 50 break. Looks good, APC. Okay, this is the, another oil name. You can see we had it at 11. There was a setup right there through 11, had a nice break, pulled back, and now it's hanging around 12. So I do think these are going to go higher. Like I said, I like all the oil names. HOS, another oil name. I traded this one for a day trade on Friday, and so looking at this chart, you know, I was looking for this 4 break, and it had a 4 break and had a nice intraday move all the way to 420. So I went ahead and took some profits and sold my position on for a day trade. So I mean, it was just, you know, it had a quick move quickly, so I went ahead and locked some in. But I do like this, the way this one's setting up for higher prices. I think it's eventually going to break out through 425 and make some new highs, along with several names in the oil sector. This HOS does look like it's going higher. Okay, S Fund, nice break on S Fund. You know, we had this pattern right there, 460 area. You can see it's kind of a, sorry, let's move right. So right in this area there, you can see 460 spot, right, and you can kind of see the ascending triangle developing right in there, tight range, the 460 break, and had a nice push right through there. So this one could be going higher. It's a nice looking chart, a little bit extended from the 460 spot, the key entry area at 460, but nevertheless does look like it's going higher on SFUN. Alright, let's see here. So, okay, HZNP. Okay, so this one is one that I entered on Friday based on this pattern. So if we take a look at this chart, you know, somewhere in this area right there, you can see where it's, you know, the candle wicks are up here at around 425 spot, you know, up here it's 430, whatever. Based on opening and closing prices, 14 is kind of a key spot. It got rejected at 14, tested 14 again, rejected, and then pulled all the way back down here, and then so then it tested it again, failed. So you got 4 tests of 14, and then you kind of got this kind of flag thing going on, right, where you kind of consolidate between 13 and 50. So based on the pattern, I really think this one is going to make a move to the upside. So I entered some at 14.25, looking for this one to break sometime next week, and we'll see. It does have earnings, which is kind of risky, but with biotechs, earnings are often a non-event for biotechs because it's all based on drug approvals and so forth. So the earnings, you know, it really comes down to whether or not their drug gets approved, or whatever they're working on gets approved by the FDA. And so, you know, this one I'm not really too concerned about the earnings on it. I just want to see how the pattern acts. If it fails, then I'll get out of it, you know. But I do think this one is going to have a move next week, so I entered some at 14.25, and my target's 15 area. We'll see what happens here on HZNP. Okay, AGU. So these fertilizer names are setting up nicely. They're not, looks like they're not ready yet, but I think they're going to make a move in the near future. So they keep kind of, see this consolidation period, right? We've seen what happens over time with these sideways consolidations after you have the up move and sideways movement. Eventually this resolves itself one way or the other, and the way this one looks, it's going to go higher. So the AGU is just one of them, but we got you know, we got POT, another one kind of got rejected, 2 red days. So it's just kind of choppy right now in a resting period. Let's see, UAN is another one. It's UAN, watching this one through this kind of 360 area. Right, this UAN, and then another one would be, you know, MOS. You can see had a big kind of breakout through this 22 area, and then kind of get 3 red candles. So I think, you know, these pullbacks are going to get eventually bought, and then you're going to have a nice spike in these fertilizer names. So I'd keep an eye on these fertilizer names. They do look, they're showing some great patterns. I think they're going higher. So all of them have some pretty nice setups. Okay, let's see here. And another one is this SMG. That's another fertilizer name, right? Scott's Miracle-Gro. And so look at that one right there below that 100 spot. And you keep getting this tight range. So yeah, I mean, all the signs are there for these fertilizer names to make a nice move in the near future. Okay, next up, OMN. OMN still consolidating, still trying to test, you know, consolidate this movement here. So I'd watch that 1150 spot, kind of pull back from there. But if it gets back through 1150, be a nice trade on the 1150 break. ACIU, this is a failed break. Had a nice push and gap down lower. So nothing there now on ACIU, failed break. Okay, HYGS, here's another one where the pattern was great, but it didn't really have the daily trading volume that you know, it's just kind of a liquid. But you can see there, right there, that 10 spot, and sure enough, on Friday had the break, big volume too, 200,000 plus, and you know, it looks like it's usually trading like 100,000. So, you know, there was a trigger there on that 10 break. Congrats if you guys caught that. Nice move there, and looks like it could be going higher too. So HYGS was a nice break. Okay, CORI, another biotech name nearing a break right there, right around this 1125 area, right in that spot, 1120, 2530. And so CORI is a nice looking setup for next week. Okay, KAMN, this is a defense stock, another flag type pattern, and it looks like it's ready to kind of break out of this consolidation period to the upside. CAMN. GTXI, biotech name. Looks like 9's kind of a key spot on this one, even though you get these, I mean, this one's very choppy. It's a liquid too, right? It only trades, you know, under 50,000 shares on average, sometimes way less, you know. But, you know, this is one to watch, you know, it's a pretty choppy name, very liquid, but it does look like it's going higher, GTXI. Okay, ZGNX, really like the way this one is looking. You can see big breakout and consolidation for, I don't know, 20 something days maybe. And you can see here, wow, how that big green day on Thursday, and then Friday kind of a rest day. So the key area is right around this 41, looks like, you know, 42 maybe, 42 spot. But this one looks like it's ready to make a move and break out to the upside here in the near future. So keep an eye on that ZGNX. Looks like it's ready to continue its uptrend on that biotech name. Okay, edit. Let's see here. What are those drawings? Nothing. Let's remove those. So edit, a little bit choppy, but it kind of looks like there's a key spot there right around 25. Pulled back, tested 25, put in a higher low, and now it's trying to break through 25. So I like this edit. Looks like it's ready to make a move to the upside, especially if the biotech sector turns on. All right, let's see. ILMN is another large cap bio right there. It's right there at a breakout spot. Okay, 215, 214 area, testing that. Looks like it can make a move here soon. Has a nice look to it. Okay, Planet Fitness, consolidating. You know, we had a nice push up, sideways consolidation, and now it looks like it's ready to break through 27. They got earnings next week, so you know, it'd be risky to hold this one through earnings because it's not a biotech. It's a fitness stock. So, but nevertheless, you know, the pattern's there. It has a nice look to it. So if you're willing to hold through earnings, you know, it might be worth a trade. PLNT. Okay, APTO. This one is very choppy. It's ramping back up near a couple key spots. One of them is 170, and then the high of these candles up here around basically 175. So look for this one. You know, these candle wicks 175. Tested it, you know, maybe 4 or 5 times. I think even before, you know, even further back, it's actually tested it a couple more times. And it, you know, last Wednesday it tested it, pulled back. So, you know, if this can ever get through 175 area, it'd be definitely worth a long, because there's something going on if it can get above that key resistance area at 175. So that's one to watch. ENPH, nice development on this name. Keep an eye on this one to test. Basically 160. You can see here, tested 160, pulled back, and then had a nice little rally, pulled back, put in a higher low, and now, you know, watch this one to maybe test that 160 spot. Okay, next up, AMPE. So this is once again another choppy bio name, but you know, this one can have an explosive move. Looks like a key area right around 120, and it's just kind of you know, it's like I said, very choppy. So I wouldn't, you know, go too big on this one, but it, you know, it looks like it's ready to make a nice spike to the upside through 120, maybe even, you know, through this 135 spot. So keep an eye on this AMPE. I don't know what's going on with it, but it looks like it's ready to make some more upside movement there on AMPE. So, okay, guys, that's all I got for today. You guys have a good Sunday. Check out the main watch list. There's lots of names, so there's a lot more setups out there, and we'll see if HZNP can do anything, or we'll move on and trade something else. So RTRX top setup. Keep an eye on that one too. All right, have a good Sunday, guys. Bye.